The on wheels fix. It had been a week about since Mike got arrested and grounded for being a peeping Tom. As we already know, he was grounded for a week, and this day was when that grounding was over. It also happened to be the day of his driver's test at the local MVA. Almost ready, Mike? His mom shouted from downstairs.
Yep.
Mike shouted back. Mike went into the bathroom and ran hair gel through his shaggy hair to slick it back. He put way too much in, however, and now his hair looked like it hadn't been washed in a month, rather than stylish. He needed his hair to be on point though, if he wanted to look sharp for his license ID picture for when he passes his driving test. His outfit for that day involved dirty white socks with slides on his feet. He wore a pair of red plaid PJ pants, along with a Nike hoodie. Mike was ready. He put an AirPod in his ear, turned on his music, and went to meet his mom in the car outside. The day was overcast and quite chilly. Overcast, cloudy days were Mike's favorite type of weather. I'm not sure exactly why, but probably because it gave him an excuse to dress like a child and stay inside all day long. "Let's get going then," Mike's mom said. Mike didn't reply. He doesn't like talking to his parents. He'd rather curl up in a ball, hood up, and scroll through TikTok on his phone instead. 10 minutes later, Mike and his mom were pulling into the parking lot of the MVA. His mom decided to give him some words of driving wisdom. "Mike, remember, turn signals always, and don't go too fast. I've seen how you drive." It was true. Mike was a menace when it came to the road. Even when he had his learner's permit and was practicing with his mom, he'd still go 30 plus miles per hour over the speed limit. He would also constantly drift out of his lane too and was always distracted. Mike and his mom walked inside the MVA. Before he could take the test though, first he had to check in with one of the registered people at a desk. "Hi, we're here for my son's driving test," said Mike's mom. "Sign here," the worker rudely replied. The MVA employees always seemed pissed off with their life, like they hated their job, and I don't blame them. The place is always hectic and crowded, as they have to deal with shambles like Mike, as you're about to see. Anyway, Mike's mom filled out the test forms, and then two of them went to sit down in the waiting area, which is where they waited for the next 30 minutes. You can probably guess how Mike spent that time. TikTok. He was nervous though. He's always wanted to drive his friends around, as well as go and get fast food by himself. "Are you nervous, Mike?"
No, not at all, Mom. Who the fuck is dumb enough to fail their driving test?
"Language, Mike," his mom remarked. Up next, it was time for Mike's driving test. Him and his mom strolled back into the parking lot and hopped into the car, which is a 2011 Nissan Cube. Once they were in the car, Mike drove around the side of the building and into the testing lane, where the testees waited for their turn in line for the test. Mike just sat there, both hands gripping the steering wheel, nervous. His eyes were locked straight ahead. He was mouth breathing. "Mike, we're still more than 3 cars back. You can relax a bit," his mom told him. Even though Mike didn't admit that he was nervous, he decided to listen to his mom anyway. He loosened up a bit. Kind of. Slowly but surely, they moved up in the line, and before they knew it, Mike's turn was on deck. Mike's semi-relaxed persona, however, was destroyed in an instant when he, for some reason, glanced into the rearview mirror. He then saw who would be taking their driver's test right after him.
Monica,
he thought to himself. Mike's palms immediately became sweaty once more, with his heart racing faster than Sonic the Hedgehog. He needed to pass this test, so, in which he hoped Monica, who was his longtime crush, would finally notice him.
"Come on, Mike. Be chill. Relax,"
he told himself repeatedly in a sort of mantra. That all went out the window, however, when Mike witnessed who was waiting on the other side of the building, overlooking the test course. It was Monica's boyfriend, Bryce. His slick blonde hair didn't move an inch in the wind. He had his hands on his hips as he stood on the sidewalk, likely waiting to watch Monica take her test. Mike's heartbeat was now off the walls. He now knew he needed to outperform that day. And not only did he need to pass his test, but he also needed to do something extra special on the course, so as to impress Monica and show Bryce that he is the real man of the road. Anyway, the test instructor came up to the passenger side of Mike's mom's car and gave them some instructions. "Go and park just around the corner, where your test will start from." Mike did just that. The instructor signaled for him to stop directly in front of where Bryce is standing. Bryce and Mike locked eyes with each other. It seemed that Bryce, being chill and all, had forgotten and kind of let of what happened a week ago go as he proceeded to give Mike a wink. A wink of encouragement, that was. However, Mike scowled at him in return. He was about to show Bryce that he was the real man. Mike's mom stepped out of the car and the test instructor got in. "Okay, let's get this over with," he said. "Seemed like the car's working properly, so first I need you to enter the course through there and perform the 3-point turn to that box." The test course involved a bunch of concrete curbs and bright orange cones that marked the boundaries. For some reason, the MVA wasn't doing the road test, so it'd just be limited to the course, which involved the classic 3-point turn, pull in, back in, and yeah, that was it. Shouldn't be too hard if you've been practicing, right? Well, we'll see when it comes to Mike. Mike nervously pulled the car into the course and into the 3-point turn area. You have 3 minutes to complete this exercise. Begin, the instructor said, now starting his stopwatch. Mike began the exercise. He hit a cone right off the jump, which ticked the instructor off quite a bit. Alright, that's 1 point off. 2 more and you fail the test, he said.
Shit,
Mike thought to himself. He needed to get his ass into gear if he wanted to impress Monica. He glanced back at the NVA and saw Bryce and Monica casually watching him. As he did this though, he ended up taking his right hand off the steering wheel to wave at Monica. Whoa, yeah, that's another point off. Both hands must be on the wheel at all times. 1 more point and you're done, the instructor stated. Mike was panicking now. He had already lost 2 out of the 3 points he had. He had to do something big. Something really big. Something that would impress both the instructor and Monica at the same time. He completed the 3-point turn and went on to the area where the pull-in exercise would happen. Mike pressed on the accelerator and whipped around the corner at 30 miles per hour. The speed limit on that course is 10 miles an hour. Him whipping around the corners that fast caused the vehicle to slide a bit on the asphalt before jolting to a halt. Not to mention that he ran a stop sign. Okay, that's it. You're done. First you hit a cone, then you take your hand off the wheel, and now you do this. Test officially failed. The test instructor screamed in sheer fury. Listen, I know it was Mike's fault that he failed and all, but I still don't know why people at the MVA take these kinds of things so personally. It's like you're offending them in a way. Anyway, the test instructor left the car and used his hand to signal Mike's mom over. This is bad. Bryce and Monica had just witnessed Mike fail his driver's test. Just then, his mom made her way over to the instructor. Ma'am, I have to inform you that your son is not fit to drive. He ran a stop sign along with a bunch of other things. Please, take him home and make sure he stays off the road, the instructor explained. Mike's mom reluctantly understood. Mike knew he had to do something before his mom got back in the car to drive him home. Something as a last-ditch attempt to woo Monica and show Bryce who does it best on the road. Mike then proceeded to floor it out of the test course. Hey, get back here, the instructor yelled, along with his mom. Mike did not leave the MVA just yet, though. First, he had to pick up his bae, as he referred to her as. He pulled up to the sidewalk on the side of the building and stopped right by Monica. He signaled for her to roll down the window, in which she reluctantly did, not to mention that she's with her mom.
Alright, Monica, let's slide out of here,
said Mike as he leaned his arm out the window. What? No, get away from here. Bryce then approached the window of Mike's mom's car. We don't want any more problems, Mike, now do we? He said, as he lifted down a pair of shades that he previously wasn't wearing from his eyes. He looked directly at Mike. Mike began, but by then, the instructor, along with Mike's mom, were almost at the car. Mike, what do you think you're doing? His mom shouted. The instructor looked furious. Mike didn't really think about what his next course of action would be. That would come for later. But for now, he simply floored it out of the MVA and onto the main road and into the town of Vanderville. He was panicking and going at like 50 miles per hour through town. Good thing there were no cops around, or he'd be busted. He needed a place to go and settle his thoughts / come up with a course of action, and so he pulled up at a local Burger King.
Finally, some real food,
Mike thought to himself.
My mom's cooking his ass.
Mike was looking forward to his fix of a greasy burger and fries to fuel his escape from the MVA, along with his gaming session later. His mom kept like $20 of extra cash in the glove box, so he figured he could use that to pay for his meal. He got out of the car and then went inside.
I want a double Whopper with large fries and a soda,
he demanded. The unenthusiastic worker barely said anything in response as he put Mike's order into the machine. Mike handed him the 20 and went to sit at a table to wait for his food. He now had both AirPods in and his hoodie up. He then began scrolling through TikTok. He also went onto Instagram to try and stalk Monica's page, but then he remembered that Monica had blocked him a week prior. 5 minutes later and Mike's food was ready. He brought the tray to his seat and only drank the soda. He ate like 1 fry and that was it. He threw the rest of the food away and went back to his mom's car. His phone was now bombarded with missed phone calls along with message after message from his mom, demanding him to come back to the NVA. He didn't though. He ignored his mom's attempts to contact him and instead went back to the Wookdale village in which he lived. He ran over the curb when he made the right turn onto the street he lived on, which involved a whole bunch of townhomes and such. He pulled into his driveway and then got another message from his mom. This one read, Mike, I had no other choice. I had to call the police, and now they're on their way to find you. The police? Mike wasn't worried, though. Mike knew his mom had likely told the cops the direction in which Mike had gone, which is into the town of Vanderville. But Mike wasn't in the town of Vanderville anymore. No. Rather, he went the opposite direction and was now chilling in his driveway. The little did Mike know, however, his mom had also given the police the license plate number of her car, meaning the police knew exactly where Mike was. Mike stepped out of the car. He forgot to put it in park, though, and also forgot to put the parking brake on. He stepped outside and immediately the Nissan Cube began rolling backwards down the driveway. Mike began panicking.
No, 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 no!
He exclaimed as the car slowly rolled across the street and into the neighbor's driveway. It then crashed into their vintage-style Porsche from the 70s. The now on-the-loose Nissan Cube smashed right into the front grate, setting the car's alarm off. Mike decided to scram inside his house when the Porsche owner came outside. "My baby! My precious baby! No! Whoever did this will pay! They will!" Mike ran up to his room, lied down in bed, and began scrolling on TikTok. He hid under his covers, however, once he heard the sound of a distant police car approaching in the distance.
This is not good,
Mike thought to himself. He then heard the police sirens pull up outside his house. He looked outside his bedroom window and was relieved that the police weren't yet coming inside to get him. What they were doing, though, was equally as worrying to Mike. They were currently outside on the street, talking to the Porsche owner and examining the damage done to the priceless collectible. Mike witnessed the owner point his finger towards his house, and it was then brought about to Mike that he yet again needed to take some action. He raced downstairs and snuck out through the back door. He booked it away from his house and towards the nearby apartments just down the block. He ran over to a little clubhouse that the apartments have and began spying through all the windows. He was relieved to see his friend Ty in one of the office rooms playing on one of the computers on coolmathgames.com. Mike knocked on the window to get Ty's attention. It took a few minutes because Ty had headphones on, but he soon noticed Mike standing there outside. Mike signaled for Ty to go to the other door and let him inside the clubhouse. Ty reluctantly got up and let him in.
Yo, man, what's up?
"Bro, what the fuck are you doing? You look like you just ran a marathon. You're so out of breath," Ty replied. "Weren't you supposed to take your driving test today?"
I did, and I passed. Got my license today, but there's a bit of a situation,
said Mike, putting on a rather suave font. What situation?" asked Ty.
Well, here's the deal now. Listen up. I passed my driving test so fast and so flawlessly, and Monica was there too with her beta boyfriend Bryce. Once they awarded me with my very own driver's license, Monica couldn't keep her hands off me. She dumped Bryce on the spot and even followed me home. She got so attached to me right then and there that I had to flee and hide away here at the clubhouse so she doesn't find me. Girls are crazy, man.
"I see," replied Ty. "So can I see your license?"
I left it at my house when I made my escape from Monica. I can't go back, however, because she's gonna make me break my no-nut streak.
"You're still going on with No.2 November?" Ty said. "I failed on like day 3.
Oh yeah, man, and it seems like it's working perfectly. At the beginning of the month, I said that No.2 November would get me girls. And would you look at me now?"
"I see. Didn't you literally get arrested last week for spying on her? Something isn't quite adding up with your story."
Like what? What's not adding up?
He's getting nervous again as he strung up his web of lies in front of Ty. "The thing that's not adding up right now is that my crush Brittany is snapping me right now, saying how Monica just saw you fail your driving test and how you stole your mom's car."
Again, bro, attracting all these women on No.2 comes with a price. Other girls get jealous, like Brittany from my aura. Tend not to say things and try to dampen my success. You know, I think you better check your girl, bro.
"Oh really? Then why did Brittany send me a video from Monica that shows you at the MVA speeding away in your mom's Nissan Cube? Your mom's even yelling at you to come back." Mike is about to try and roast Ty or something for exposing his lie, but he didn't get the chance to, because just then, 2 police cars pull into the clubhouse parking lot, sirens on and everything. "Bro, what the fuck did you do?" Ty exclaimed. "You got the police into this?"
I have no idea what they're here for.
"I'm pretty sure that involves you. Look," Ty pointed. Mike then looked to where Ty was pointing at. It was the door to the clubhouse, which had 3 police officers now picking the lock. Mike didn't waste any more time. He ran and hid inside the bathrooms. When the police burst through the door, they didn't ask any questions. You see, Ty also had dark hair, and in the heat of the moment, he could have easily been mistaken for Mike. "Hands behind your back, now," an officer shouted. "Whoa, whoa, whoa, what did I do? I'm not Mike. He's in the bathroom. Please, just let me go." The officers didn't listen, however. They would question later. They forced Ty into a police car and took him away towards the police station. In the bathroom, Mike figured that the coast was clear. He had locked himself inside of a stall and had his feet up on the toilet lid. He had gotten up and walked out of the bathroom now. He was relieved to find that the police were gone. He figured it'd be just best to head on home before his mom got back, just so he could at least squeeze in a few rounds of Valorant on his Xbox before he inevitably got yelled at. However, as he's walking in the hallway that connected the bathroom and the lounge area, he caught a glimpse glimpse of a dude playing some video games, more specifically some Marvel Rivals, in the lounge area of the clubhouse. He was sitting in a recliner chair and had a bunch of junky snacks and soda laid out on the table in front of him, and he's playing on the massive jumbo-sized flat-screen TV that the clubhouse graciously offered. Mike went on over and sneakily snuck up behind the guy so as to not disturb him and watched him play his rounds.
Man, this guy sucks.
Mike thought to himself, I don't know, maybe some people have other things going on in their life, Mike, and doesn't revolve all around video games like yours does. Anyway, Mike continued watching. He was trying to devise a plan to go and sneak some of the snacks and soda from the coffee table, but it'd be hard to do so as he was trying not to be seen. He was about to actually man up for once in his life and tap the guy on the shoulder and just ask him for some snacks until he heard a voice come from behind him. Mike! It was his mom. She just gotten back from the MVA. Mike, what are you doing stalking Dad? She demanded.
Dad?
Mike, what are you doing here? His dad says.
Mike!
Mike's mom then yells.
What the fuck are you doing? First you fail your driving test, then you steal my car, then the police tell me you damaged my neighbor's Porsche, and now you're stalking Dad playing video games? Mike, you are grounded for the rest of the month.
Just then, the police car arrived back with Ty, realizing that they had made a mistake. They arrested Mike and took him away instead. Mike was the most embarrassed he had ever been in his entire life. Man, he really needs to get his life together and just do things the right way. Later that night, Mike's parents picked him up from the police station. They took him home. Mike was indeed grounded for the rest of the month. And that then concludes the On Wheels fix.